Hey, beautifuls. How are we all doing? So, today is Mindful Monday. Now, for some of you, I know that you were waiting at 8 o'clock this morning, and apologies, my beautiful loves, but life happens, right? And I want to talk to you about that today. I want to jump in. Pull my hair. I want to jump in with this for you today because what's really important to me is that you understand that sometimes shit is going to hit the fan, right? Good morning, Claire. Shit is going to hit the fan sometimes. And what do you do? What do you do when that happens? Because there are so many people out there that are teaching that if you're being spiritual and in alignment, then everything should be peachy. And that's not the case. So tell me in the comments, if you're watching on replay, give me a replay. Tell me in the comments if you used to think or still think that being spiritual means you have to have all your shit together. Give me a yes in the comments if that is you, because I'm here to tell you today, I'm here to smash that belief out of the park, because that is a load of bullshit. And this morning, I'm going to share with you exactly what happened, because this is how I show up. I cannot be any other way than real. And what really pisses me off is that people are out there making people second guess themselves and making people feel shit for actually being human, right? So let me just knock that out of the park. So I want you to tell me in the comments, do you ever think that shit actually to be really in alignment and flow and spiritual, I have to be this certain way and any other way is wrong? That's not the case. And I really am passionate about this. And I want to talk to you about that today because I need to reassure you that that is not the case. Okay, Louise, let me make tea and watch. I'm feeling anger from you. Okay, let me talk to you about this. And please put in the comments if you believe that you have to be a certain way, because let's get this out. Let's have that conversation. As you were jumping on, please make sure you have given StreamYard permission so I can see your comments. Otherwise, you're just going to come up Facebook user and I can't see who you are. So if you have felt like before that the message you have been given to be spiritual, to be in alignment, is to have everything perfect and to never have a down day, just give me a yes in the comments. This is really important that we open this dialogue, and this is one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and I want to talk to you about this and drink my tea. So Claire, you said you're feeling anger from me. So what you're going to feel is the residue of emotion. So this morning has been really emotional, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but one of my children is struggling at the moment. And that brings up a whole range of emotions for me. And actually, I might cry as I talk to you about this because the emotions are real. The emotions are very raw. And so I was feeling wobbly as fuck this morning, and I'm not afraid to share that with you because I think it's so important that we're honest. We are so honest. I am one of the most spiritual people ever. Like, you talk to people, I'm one of the most spiritual people ever, yet I still have days where I wobble. I still have days that feel like I'm going to get knocked off my feet. And was I not spiritual, I might then stay in that place. But being spiritual means you know how to manage the two. So Claire, yes, the anger you're feeling from me is that emotion that is pent up, but also that I'm really quite pissed off. I'm really quite pissed off with people putting this message out there that you have to be a certain way and people have to fit these preconceptions, because we are all different. We are all human, right? We are spiritual beings having a human, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? That is really important. So give me a yes in the comments if you have felt ever that being spiritual, or you've been led to understand that being spiritual means that you have to have all your shit together and that nothing's ever wrong and that you're floating on cloud nine. Just give me a yes in the comments right now. Let's see how many people are feeling like this. Okay. Hey, Jenny. Hey. Let me see. Let's have a real conversation, right? I am here to bring some spiritual realness to this world because this needs talking about. Jenny, I'm having a lot of wobbles recently as I'm working through inner child stuff. Yes. Okay, Jenny, well done for being brave and vulnerable, because being brave and vulnerable means we can be real and we can show up in the world as us. We've got to do that first. Chloe, can't stay long in the middle of rehearsing. That's fine, babe. Just give me a yes in the comments if this has been you, if you've been led to believe, if you felt, if you've heard that should be you. Morning, Chloe. Claire, I feel like I need to call you. Please talk to us. As in, you feel like you need to call me because you want to like comfort me? I'm cool. But we can have a conversation because I've been reaching out left, right, and centre, and I want to talk to you guys about that as well. Sandra, good morning. Yes. Claire, what you're saying, I can't change the world. I can change other people's views, but I can be me. Yeah. But how many people? Sandra, yeah, she's given me a yes. Thank you. Thank you. Let's be brave. Let's be honest. Okay. So now, Chloe, yes, you've heard this too. Brilliant. So what I want to ask you now is, how many of you feel like you are showing up 100% of the time as you, and how many of you feel like there is still parts of you are hiding because you feel like you have to have it all together? So give me a hiding or a showing, right? Hide or show in the comments. So let's see, because there are parts that we feel like we have to hide. And I want you to tell me in the comments, do you feel like you're still hiding elements, or are you like, cool, I'm perfectly cool with being out and out me? I'm passionate. I'm charged with emotion today. I am charged with emotion because this morning hit me like a ton of bricks. So let me just talk to you about that. Let me talk to you about that while you were writing. Claire, you're a show. She's a shower. Okay. Jenny, I don't know who I am outside of mum, auntie, daughter, friend, and sister persona. Yes, Jenny, I am applauding you, honey. So many people out there are in that same boat. And guess what? The more we start to actually own our shit, the more we start to say, do you know what? I'm struggling today. That doesn't mean that you are weak. That does not mean that. It means that you are showing up as you. And you're okay with that. And actually, that's really important. Chloe, you show about 80%, I think. Yeah. And I bet, okay, here's another one. Give me a yes in the comments if there are certain people that you can be yourself with and other people that you can't. Give me a yes in the comments if you feel that is you. I want you to tell me, because we're going to jump into this today. I'm going to really share with you what went on this morning. Not too much detail, because obviously I want to honour my son and, you know, that stuff that we're going through. But I'm going to share with you what that's brought up in me, because we must have these conversations. In order to make change, we must have these conversations, and it is not being weak. Claire, I'd love admitting I'm struggling. It makes me real. Amazing. Yes, Claire, I'm giving you like props for that. I love that. And how has that always been the way? I want you to tell me, has that always been the way? How have you got yourself there? Share in the comments, because this is a real conversation we need to open up. Claire, I want to know your answers. You want to know my answers? My answers? Tell me what that is about, babes. Chloe, yes, definitely. Yeah, there are different parts of us that feel happy to show up in different ways. Claire, what are you saying? How you? Okay, that is amazing. That fills my heart with joy. And this is why I consistently will show up as me. And so this morning I just couldn't come on, and normally I will push myself to come on regardless. So if I'm in the middle of some shit and I'm like, what, 8 o'clock, I have said I will show up and I'm going to be there. So whether that is like, you've got me with my hair like this and I've just thrown, I mean, look, here we go, this is not the best hair today. Even though I am feeling like shit, I will still show up. Because why? Because it's important that you understand that we are going to have shit days. We're all going to have shit days, right? But We are all capable of getting ourselves out of that shit. And that's what you need to know. That is how you make a difference. That is how you change your life. Okay. All the questions you are putting to us. Okay, babes, let me remember what I've said. So, are there people that I'm 100%, I show a bit of myself to? Yes, I'm a work in progress. So when I first meet somebody, I might not be full on balls out me. I might be like, okay, I'm not quite sure yet. Am I going to be too much for you? Am I going to be like, ah, in your face? Is this a safe space? Because guess what? We all have shit that goes on inside of us. And I am not standing here saying, I have all my shit together. No, I am not saying that. But what I'm saying to you is, I'm a work in progress, and I wholeheartedly stand. That's how I stand. That is my power. My vulnerability is my badass power. So are there people that I'm 100% myself with? There are some people that I'm not. And that is a work in progress, and I am working on that. But I'm owning that shit, right? I'm telling you, I'm not a guru. I'm a spiritual fucking badass being, but I am working through that human shit. Yes, I am. Amanda! Oh my goodness, Amanda, you have so been in my thoughts, my darling. We've missed having you around, your gorgeous energy. Oh, that has topped my heart up. And it was 11:22 as I said that. That's some of my numbers. Claire, absolutely. Okay, so what was another question that I asked you? What is another? I can't remember what I've asked you already. So write them in the comments what I've asked you, and I will answer that for you, because here I am being like balls out honest. Here we go. So this morning, we've been having some stuff going on with my eldest, and he's struggling a bit right now. So let's fast forward and rewind to, I used to work with young people. She's back. She's back. Look who's back. I missed you too, my darling. I have missed you, missed you, missed you. Look at that gorgeous energy in that face. So I used to work for the local authority with young people who primarily were disadvantaged and who were in real danger of being either members of in crime, like committing crimes or antisocial behaviours, and then being distanced from school and dropping out of school, and then becoming further into that cycle, because we all know it's a cycle, right? So I used to work with young people, doing one-to-ones with them, looking at their behaviours, what was going on, supporting them in school. If they weren't in school, trying to make plans with the local authority to get them back into school. Really looking at the parenting, what was going on. But for me, it was really frustrating. This is just a little side. For me, it was really frustrating because I would have this young person for an hour a week, and we would do some really amazing stuff together. And then I knew I was sending them home, and that was not always the best environment. And I didn't always have the tools in place or the procedures in place with what I was doing to really make that long-lasting impact. So I almost knew, like, you're in a safe haven with me for an hour, you're going back to Shitville. There's nothing I can do about that, because I cannot reprogram everyone around you. I can just plant the seeds. That was really frustrating. And for some of these young people, their mental health was really, really bad. Like we had severe mental health issues going on. I had young people who were, at top spectrum self-harmers, people who were making suicide attempts. And so mental health for me and my children going down that route, it's always been a big fear of mine, because we're nowhere near that point, let me just say as well. But that's always been a massive fear of mine, and I'm going to get emotional because I couldn't help them. I couldn't help them. Just going to be here and be me. So when my eldest started struggling, that was difficult for me, because it was like, okay, what is this? Is this low-level stuff, or is this stuff I need to be worried about? And I don't want it to be this stuff, because this stuff is fucking scary, and I know what happens at this level, and I know that fundings are being cut, and I know, the kind of stuff that goes in with that. So that's really difficult. That's really difficult. And so when my child like starts to display, okay, shit, maybe we're heading down that road, it floored me. And this morning we kind of, while honoring his privacy, honestly, that kind of floored me. Go, shit, now I've got to do something. I've got to take some action, and I cannot be observing anymore. I've got to make sure that I'm in control of this. And fuck me, that was scary. And so this morning, when I was meant to be on here, obviously you guys understand this is real life, okay? And I'm sharing this with you so you understand what's going on, and that you understand that shit comes up, right? And it's about looking at what is happening, what is it bringing up in you, and what can you do about that? So I had a cry. I called my best friend and I was like, ah! I got it out, because that energy needed to be released, that emotion needed to be released. And now I have looked at alternative things, and I've put the feelers out, and I'm taking action to get some support in place for him. Now, alongside that, I used to be really good at taking action and doing all the things, and then not dealing with it in here. So what's the difference now? Let me come back to my earlier point, and then I'm going to come back to your comments, my darlings. Let's come back to my earlier point, where I'm really pissed off with people that say that being spiritual means that everything is just in flow and amazing. It's not that at all. Being spiritual means that when the shit hits the fan, because it will, because unless we're all living in a commune, I mean, who wants to come and live in a commune all together, right? We'll have our little family bubbles, and we'll all live in this amazing commune, and we'll just sit there and we'll sing, and I'll bathe you all in sound, and everything will be beautiful, right? We don't live in that world. We live in a world where we have our space, and we have the people around us that we can talk to about this stuff. And we have the people around us that we can't show ourselves to 100%. And so we have to keep ourselves protected, expressing and feeling as the spiritual being, but also nurturing the human side as well, because shit will hit the fan. That's the difference. That is the difference. And that's why I get pissed off with people saying, to be spiritual, you have to be a certain way. To be in alignment, you have to be a certain way. And you can't feel these feelings, because they're all feelings, right? They're all feelings. Amanda, let me come back to you, my darling. Let me just see. My signal's rubbish. I will watch on replay, but I'm here for now. Okay, my angel, no worries. No worries. And then I saw you say something else, Amanda. So I want to catch you before, if you do have to jump off. Just a quiet hello. I've got to go, my darling. I'll catch up with you. Bye, darling. Sending you love and light always. Oh, thank you, Amanda. That's so gorgeous, angel. I just wanted to catch you because I saw you pop up saying you've got to jump off. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on that, because who here has got shit coming up? And loads of people I'm talking to right now have shit coming up, and that's okay. But it's how you deal with it that is different. Claire, what you're saying, girl, your ball out have made me think you feel better. Yes, because we need to express. Absolutely, we need to express. And this is why I say my vulnerability is my biggest superpower. It is my biggest superpower, because if I'm just showing up and saying, do you know what? I'm feeling shit, or this is going on, but I'm here and I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to lean into that uncomfortableness. Who here gets something that makes them feel uncomfortable and backs away from it and goes, oh, fuck that shit, I'm going to run away, or I'm going to hide from it? And now, Claire, I bet you're going to say, no, girl, I'm in there, which is cool. But for those of you who don't, how many of you find something that makes them feel uncomfortable and back away from it? Because that is the norm. But when you're using your vulnerability as your superpower, as your strength, there's that thing that you go, I feel it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I lean into that. That's the difference. That is the difference in being spiritual and having your connection. Your connection is your anchor, right? Your connection is that anchor to yourself, who you are. And once you're rooted and anchored in your connection to yourself, that's when you can tackle that shit. And that does not mean that stuff is not going to make you wobble. your connection, I talk about this all the time, your connection to yourself is your tree roots. And the stronger your roots of that tree, the wind, the storm, that shit can blow all at once. But your roots are so deeply anchored, your roots are so firm that shit's gonna shake. Oh, let's give it a minute. Shit's gonna shake, but you're not gonna fall over. And sometimes you might really bend in that wind, but you're gonna come back. That is your spiritual connection. That is your roots. That is your grounding into who you are. That is who you are. Janie, hey, lovely, not seen you in a while. I've not seen you in a while, babes. It's so lovely to see you. How are you doing, honey? Claire, sounds like my normal day. Yes, so Claire, you must see mental health issues all the time in the police. Claire is the most kick-ass lady. She's the most kick-ass lady. But I bet mental health, seeing that all the time, is every day. And also for you, like managing that energy, managing your energy and what you're surrounded by. Getting that important, because what we're surrounded by impacts us. What we're surrounded by affects. Come on now, Wi-Fi. Spirit are like, come on, Diana. But we must protect ourselves. But first, we must have that connection to ourselves to know what the fuck is going on. Why am I doing this? Why am I feeling like? So for me, you guys might know, might not know that I've struggled with bulimia over the years. And my coping mechanism was to eat. That was to eat my feelings, to grab those biscuits. And so any time that I start to get triggered or I start to get these old thoughts or behaviors wanting to creep in, my connection with myself is so strong that I go, stop, what's going on? Rather than grabbing the biscuits and doing the cycle. I know what's going on and I can catch myself and I can pull myself back. That's the difference. We can talk ourselves off the edge. Jenny, what are you saying, my darling? My nephew self-harmed, so I feel you. He lives with me, so I mum to him. Jenny, that's so beautiful. That is a big step up, right? And that's a big responsibility to take on. So sending you lots of love, because I know for myself, working with these young people was emotionally draining, and I did not have that emotional attachment to them. Although being an empath, obviously that had an impact. But when it is family, when it's that step closer to you, that has an impact. So I'm sending you love, Jenny. That's an amazing thing that you're doing. And I bet you are such a beautiful light for him. Such a beautiful light. Claire, you keep saying, people, ground yourself. Look at your feet on the ground. You are you. Yes, we have to ground ourselves. Are you getting that guidance to say to me right now, I need to sound for myself today? That is something that I need to do right now. After I get off this live, I'm going to go and sit and just have some sound healing for myself. I'm going to say that, yes, people, ground yourself. Just be like, ground yourself. Just go up to your officers. Just be like, right, ground yourself. Briefing over, done. Drop the mic. Absolutely. Connect your feet to the ground. You are a tree. Yes, that is a beautiful meditation. And I think actually in my group, there is a freebie in the group page. I think most of you are all members of my group anyway, but for those of you who aren't members of my group, just click the join group button, and over in the group, I think I've put up a grounding tree meditation. So actually, I'm being guided to tell you to use that. The tree is an analogy I use all the time. Like, you're going to bend in the wind. The wind is going to blow. The storms are going to howl through the house. But having those grounding branches, those roots, that's how you stay. That's how you stay up. Jenny, I used to eat to fill the void of pain. Yeah, so many people do. So many people do. And it's also linked into your chakras, like what that chakra needs, where your energy is out of balance, which is why I love sound healing, because you don't need to talk. It just knows the healing goes to that section. Your chakras are your 7 major energy centers, and every single one links to an emotion, a physical aspect, a mental aspect. It has all of the elements in. And so when we understand that, this is why I talk about balance in the spirit and the human, when you understand that you are so much more than just this, you're so much more than this. And when you know how to balance the two, that's when we can call in that real unity, that real feeling of being in alignment with ourselves. That's why I created Soul Aligned, the program, because in that I teach the foundational tools to stay in an alignment. And it doesn't mean that you have to be spiritual to go through that program. The reason why I love doing what I do is because I teach you that, yeah, these are tools that can help you on your spiritual journey, but they're just going to help you in life. Like, the first thing I teach in Soul Aligned is how to still the mind, how to really use your breath, so that if you're an overthinker, that's going to also link into your physiology, what your body is doing, and that's going to have an impact on how your brain works, the chemicals that are released into your body. So that's the first thing I teach. So whether you want to go on that spiritual route or not, I teach how to balance the human and the spirit. That is my superpower, right? And it took me a long time to realize that. But I like to keep it real. I like to shake up that spiritual tree and be like, do you know what? Yes, you can go off and you can travel, astral travel, or, you know, do all of those things, and you can see spirit and talk to spirit and all of those things. Yes, absolutely. And I friggin' love that stuff. But you can also live in alignment and harmony and balance with yourself. That is what we're missing. It's not all about living at this top level of, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to see angels around me all the time. It's not all about that. It's about anchoring yourself and living in alignment with yourself, and first getting to know yourself again, because so many of us have been conditioned and have layers and layers and layers of shit and beliefs and experiences and all of that stuff that feels claustrophobic. And if we want to just be free of that, we've got to have that connection with ourselves, because when we do that, when we are then free to express and be vulnerable, that's when we're truly living. That's when we call in the people around us that we don't have to hide from anymore, because we can just be ourselves. That is so important, that freeness to just be you. Like, imagine that, if you felt so free, if you were so connected to yourself that you had an off day, and once you'd allowed that human, the snotty tears, whatever you needed, once you'd allowed that and you had that connection to yourself to go, I know what that is, rather than going, why the fuck do I feel so bad? Why do I want to go and reach for the biscuits? Why do I want to go and make myself sick? Why do I want to go and, I don't know, whatever it is, drink, or go and have a fag, or go and take some, whatever drug of choice it is to get off your face, to forget, to lose it, to get away from it. If we could cut that bit out and just have that understanding of who the fuck we are and what is being triggered in us, that there is going to change your life. That there is going to make things so much different, better, more beautiful for you. And that's what I'm teaching. That's my passion. That's my goal, is to have you guys so connected here that you can understand what's going on here. But this does not drive you. This drives you, and we are grounded and we are rooted and we're connected, so that we can see the little signs like the angel feathers and all that beautiful stuff that is, to me, then the next level up. But first we must come back to here. Sandra, I've been low. Hearing your voice has lifted me. Good. I am so glad, Angel. And this is what I mean. Like, no matter how I'm feeling, I still knew I was going to turn up for you guys today. I still knew I was going to come and do a teach today, because this topic needs talking about. Jenny, I'm resisting something, but not sure what it is right now. Being visible, I think. I've used my weight and lack of self-care to hide for so long. I wear my heart on my sleeve and say it like it is. So my whole journey is visible. It suffocates me every so often, and it pings me right back to I'm not good enough, and the outcome, the flood of tears. Yeah. But by owning that, by knowing that, by seeing that, by sharing that, that's part of the journey, right? That's part of the journey. to just show up as you. Brave, vulnerable, shit in your pants. Doesn't mean you're like, yeah, I'm going to speak my truth and I'm going to be vulnerable and it's all going to be cool and I'm going to be so confident. Actually, you might be shitting your pants about talking about that thing. But that is where you lean in, where you do it anyway, right? You do it anyway. You just pull on those big girl pants. There's not enough big girl knicker emojis, by the way, Facebook. So just so you know, you need to make that happen. You just pull on those big girl pants, you lean into it and you do it anyway. Use your vulnerability as your superpower. Shit is going to happen, right? Just because you're on this path does not mean that you are exempt from shit happening. It just means that you are in a place where you have access to a lot more tools and support from source, but from yourself to really navigate that. And I hope that has really helped you this morning by talking. It is so important. I missed some comments. I'm so sorry. We are here surrounding you with love. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. I really feel that. That's really beautiful. I'm good. I'm really good. Sam, you are totally in control. I've been there, lovely. And I know that feeling so well. Taking action feels good. Yeah, absolutely. But also not going so much into action that we then bypass the actual feeling, because the two are very important. Okay. If you're watching on replay, just tell me if this brings up stuff for you. Please share in the comments, reach out. My group is a safe space. So here I will share with you, but in my group, we have deeper conversations. And that is really, my group is my community. That is my safe space for everyone to feel so held, to be vulnerable, to take that step. So if you're called to come and join us, please do. And ladies who are in my group, if you want to continue this conversation over in the group, I'm going to put up a post. We can really talk about this. Let's really open up this conversation. Let's really embrace our vulnerabilities. Okay, my darlings, whatever you are doing, be mindful. I clicked the wrong button then. Really sorry about that. So whatever you're doing, please be mindful of where you are, what's going on, and know that just because you are on a spiritual path does not mean you have to have all your shit together. Okay, right, I'm going to end the video properly now, so have a beautiful rest of your day, whatever you are doing. So much love to you guys. Thank you for sharing, and take